Welcome one and all to my very first Terraria video. I'm very pleased with this as I can finally do Terraria for you like I've said in the past. And for my first video I've decided to do a kind of odd commentary that I've had thought of for a long time and just now decided to get to because I can now do Terraria. It's on the Razorblade Typhoon. It's a weapon dropped by Duke Fishron. It's magical and does a darn lot of damage, but it also costs a lot of mana. Its special ability is that it homes in on enemies, pierces them, and also bounces off walls. So it's kind of cool. It does your work for you. And that is precisely why I don't like it. It's very, very powerful, especially with the right caster gear, which I'm going to put on right now. And you see, it's kind of actually detrimental to your skill level. I have done a lot of practice playing Team Fortress 2, and that's given me a lot of thoughts about how weapons encourage different play styles. And the Razorblade Typhoon, to me, is a kind of a bad weapon, not because of its high stats or anything, it's good stat-wise, but it's bad because it encourages playstyle without aiming or that kind of thing. I like to play with weapons that require a little more skill, like the Inferno Fork or the Razor Pine. So, I am not saying that the Razorblade Typhoon is a bad weapon, I'm just saying that I find it a bad weapon if you wish to build your skill up with aiming and other tactics like that. It's also darn fun to use, if you're in the mood for just destroying stuff, especially when it, it's good for destroying things completely. It's not a bad weapon stat-wise. It's, in fact, a very good weapon if you wish to defeat something. But it encourages a playstyle that I find detrimental to your skill level and generally to playing Terraria. I'll show you exactly how good it is against the Destroyer, who I will summon once it becomes night. Given that it's a piercing weapon, it performs quite nicely against the Destroyer, and it's very fun to see it run, just fly in circles around Skeletron Prime. It's kind of a nice feeling just watching him get torn up by these spinning blue razor wheels of death. Personally, the Razorblade Typhoon is my favorite when you don't have to worry about your skill level. It's also not as good in PvP combat because it, doesn't home in on players. But should be dark enough. I will demonstrate against the Destroyer once he actually decides to be ready to be summoned. So, to sum it all up, the Razorblade Typhoon, I think, encourages kind of lazy playing. Oh, it's nighttime. It encourages lazy playing even though it's a good weapon stat-wise. And here we go. Best caster items were used. Spectre armor with the hood, not the mask. And I'm using the Celestial Cuffs to keep mana. As you can see, it's completely destroying this big worm with 80,000 health. It's pretty impressive, if you ask me. And I barely even have to aim. I could probably just stand stationary. Yeah, I will. And the Destroyer is taking no time at all. If you watch, the razor wheels are just ripping around it, and it just died. That's just pathetic. But keep in mind, this is the Destroyer we're talking about. It's probably the weakest hard mode boss. So let's see how it'll perform against Prime. Seriously? 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 I hate trying to... Here we go. As you can see, it'll just zip around him. It's so cool. I'm just gonna stand stationary, thanks, Prime. Yeah. He's doing damage, but still, the Razorblade Typhoon is wicked. stat-wise. Let's see, can I take a couple hits? Yeah, I can. I need mana. But I am having to regen mana at a nasty rate because the thing costs so much to fire. And as you can see, it's not even balanced out by its high mana cost. I mean, it's not like I could be shooting this thing all night without taking a little damage to activate the cuffs, but it's just doing all my aiming for me. I'm barely moving my cursor at all. And I find that kind of pathetic, to be honest. I mean, Prime can just fly around and he has absolutely no chance. None. That's why I don't like the Razorblade Typhoon. It does all your work for you. And, of course, I don't like the flare-on either. Some weapons do actually require a skill curve despite being homing. And see, I'm left with just his skull. What kind of a fight is that? Yep, I'm just holding down the mouse button. Maybe if it were... I think that the Razorblade Typhoon could be a little more balanced if it weren't auto-fire. Because I'm just wrecking him completely. I don't even need to do anything. See? The Razorblade Typhoon has no skill curve at all, if you ask me. Anyone can fire that thing and win. And it's just kind of something I don't like to use, because my ambition in Terraria is to become the best I can be. At just the best. The best of the best. And the Razorblade Typhoon isn't helping me do that. Something that actually requires skill to aim and use tactics, like the Inferno Fork, my personal favorite weapon, or the Razor Pine, another favorite. They are a lot more fun to use, unless you're going for total flat-out destruction like I had against Prime. See, the Razorblade Typhoon just isn't built for people who want skill. And, you see, I don't think it should be that way. Thank you for watching my first Terraria video. If you like more, please be sure to tell me that somehow by a comment or a like or anything of that sort. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.